Greetings Wanderer, this is Atlas here and welcome to the Void. Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song called Flamelurker from the Demon's Souls Remake original soundtrack. This is the winner of one of the latest polls that I've done in my Patreon, as you can see here. It went against Manakimia and basically won by double the votes. So I'm really looking forward to this because this is going to be the first time that I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song from Demon's Souls. However, I have done plenty of Dark Souls reactions and breakdowns in the past. I think that the last Dark Souls breakdown that I did was for Yhorm the Giant from Dark Souls 3. Which I'm going to be leaving in this card right here. But also I have plenty more that I would like to share with you. So I'm going to leave them in the description of this video. And I also covered Bloodborne and Sekiro, you know, following the From Software, you know, kind of trend, let's say. Also, I want to remind you that I'm fairly acquainted already with the Dark Souls series, and I kind of think that Demon's Souls is also part of the story, because I did a full playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered, which I'm going to be leaving in this card right here, and it's also going to be in the description of this video. And I'm currently playing right now Dark Souls 2 Scholars of the First Sin. I am basically fairly advanced in my playthrough right now, which I'm going to be leaving in a card right here too and in the description of this video, right? But before we begin, I would like to invite you to listen to my latest track, which is a BERSERK inspired track called Conceived in Blood, which is actually the song that you have been listening in the background of the intro of this video. So if you like what you hear so far and you would like to hear the full song, I'm going to leave it in this card right here, but also in the description of this video, right? And with all of that being said, onward. Okay, so this is going to be Flamelurker from the Demon's Souls Remake original soundtrack. Boom. Pretty cool accents. And the way it starts with the organ, pretty good. Oh, I love the accents in each measure. Listen to that brass, it's so mean. I love the accents. That tubular build at the end. Alright, there we have it. You know, what is curious here is that the song has an actual resolution, but that actual resolution works for a loop. Like when you hear the tubular build, that signals kind of the definitive resolution of the song. It makes it have so much. It still has so much loop potential in case this is a boss battle kind of track, which actually absolutely sounds like it. Because at the beginning of the song is like this long fading with the organ and stuff like that, you know. So it kind of blurs or is super intertwined together in that regard, you know. It's kind of a slurred. Ouroboros kind of thing, and I always say this kind of things in terms of video game music because, you know, for the loops and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like the serpent eating herself from the tail. So I'm going to be talking more in depth about some of the chords that are involved, the chord progression in the whole song, and some of the elements that really carry forward the storytelling of the track. All right, so let's break it down. Okay, so for this particular breakdown, I'm gonna be noodling around a little bit the beginning with the guitar, playing some of the chord progressions or chords that are, you know, that I could hear within the song that I think are very key to the feel of it, and also some of the leitmotif that it's pretty much contained or performed by the choirs. You know, it interchanges with the string sections sometimes, but for the most part it's contained within the choirs and the brass, and you know, explain some of the accents and where that leitmotif leads in terms of the storytelling of a track with the notes that are involved in it. All right, so I'm gonna start with the intro. So yeah, as you can hear there, very much minor chords. There's one chord that I'm not entirely sure, which is F here, F minor. I'm not sure if it is major, if it is major or minor in there. There's something messing me up within the choirs. I can't really tell because there's so much things as a wall of sound kind of thing that it's not letting me kind of really get into the bloody chord. But for the most part, I would think that it's very much all minor chords in the chord progression, because the song is pretty much it sounds very foreboding and very evil, right? So yeah, for the most part it will be like D minor, F minor, then D minor again, and then G sharp minor or A flat minor. It's the same thing, I think. G sharp A flat, yeah. So so yeah, let me explain a little bit about minor chords in general, and it's that, you know, minor chords have these, they're trying to evoke feelings of at least melancholy for the lesser, more tamed part of them, okay? Because depending on how they are arranged, you know, how they are accompanied with other instruments and so on and so forth, you know, it all depends on the composition, of course. But if you're playing a plain good old minor chord stripped from everything else, you will hear that the feeling that you get or the sound evokes feelings of either melancholy, sadness, rage, even, you know, all these feelings that go towards more of the dark side, you know what I mean, of the human condition, let's say, you know. So yeah, those are minor chords for you, you know. And the thing is that that note is the one that actually tells you about the storytelling of the chord, because these three notes doesn't tell you that much. They are kind of neutral, you know, although this could be called like a power chord, you know. It's pretty much used very much in rock music and metal music, you know, punk rock and so on and so forth. But you know, that note right there is what completes the story, you know what I mean? And what's the story? It's, well, you know, it's like a landscape or this feeling of dread, so to speak, right? And that's what the storytelling of a track from the very get-go is trying to tell you, you know. It's a bleak situation that's going on while this song is playing, you know, because it's all minor chords as far as I can hear, although I'm not really sure about the F. But this, A minor, F, then D minor again, and then G sharp minor. You know, everything is minor, so it's pretty bleak. And obviously you have the choirs on top of that and so on and so forth. That adds so much to the storytelling of not only the chord, but it's obviously what you're trying to you try to tell the story of what's going on in the game here, right? Or the Flamelurker. It says that this is the theme for the Flamelurker, which I suppose this is a boss battle, or, you know, a boss in the game and whatnot. That is often the case with these Souls games, as far as I'm aware. So, you know, very bleak, very foreboding, very evil, if you will. And it gets more evil towards another part that I'm going to be explaining later. But first, let's talk about the Leitmotif that is pretty much performed by the choirs and the brass, and then sometimes it interchanges with the string section. So let's see what happens. Okay, so obviously that is not entirely accurate towards what is playing in the Leitmotif. I will have to listen to it again to really, you know, get the notes accurately. But I think for the most part, that's the scale that the choir is singing the Leitmotif. So the interesting thing about it is that note at the end, this right here, is what actually kind of gives the resolution to the storytelling of the Leitmotif of the track in the choirs, because this so far, like this, that is going somewhere, you know. It doesn't. However, it's not like entirely resolved, you know. It gives you like this brooding feeling that is throughout the whole song, obviously. But this note is what gives you the darkness in it. Let's hear it. You know, that note at the end makes it sound like this harmonic minor kind of thing, you know. And if you follow the notes in the choirs and whatnot, there's a point in which the leitmotif resolves in that note, which is so fitting because that's the note that is actually giving you the whole story about the meanness and the bleak, dark nature of the track. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the brass arrangements that I heard in the song that I think are particularly add so much a meanness to the track, you know, so much darkness into it. And it's a part with it has this sort of chromatic arrangements into it. I'm gonna play something similar to it. I'm not really sure if it's going to be accurate, but it's along these lines. So as you can hear there, you know, those chromatic arrangements add so much darkness to the track, you know what I mean? So adds so much to the storytelling. And obviously that arrangement being on the brass, it's even meaner. I have talked about this many times in terms of, the perception that I have in terms of orchestral ensembles is that the brass, not only it sounds insanely loud, you know, it's a super invasive, you know, massive section of the orchestra, apologies, but it is the super mean. I know this is going to be sound like a pun, but it's not, like a abrasive part of the orchestra, you know, along with the contrabass or the bass and the cellos. If you add the cellos to that's a lot too. But the brass has that characteristic. So if you start playing those kind of arrangements, you know, it could be a minor arrangement, you know, a harmonic minor or whatnot, but in this particular case, these chromatic arrangements that the composer decided to add in the song, it adds so much of the darkness that obviously the song needs, because the storytelling from the very get-go is telling you that. And on top of that, you have the accents that are done on the measure all the time. You know, you hear this and just to show you an example, let me tune this to drop D. Yeah, right there. I'm going to improvise something so you can hear the meanness in a chromatic sort of chord progression, and then I will play like the accents of a measure that you hear in the song, so you can hear like how much meanness is adding to the song, right? So yeah, that's basically a chromatic chord progression, but did you hear how insanely evil it sounds? That's had been done to death in metal, let me tell you that. You know, it's especially in death metal, they love to do chromatic chord progressions and chromatic tremolo riffs and so on and so forth, you know. Well, all over metal, but very specifically in death metal, that's a big thing. And there's also an Alice in Chains Them Bones that has like a chromatic main riff, but I'm not gonna get into that. Let's talk about the song. So now it's, you know, you take you know, that D chord and you make it like the accents in the measure. It's going to add to that, of course. So yeah, to finalize my commentary, I would like to say that this particular track certainly has all the elements that it needs to tell the story of what's happening. Obviously, I don't have the context, the full context of what's happening, but you know, judging by what I've played so far in the Dark Souls games that I've played, I don't think Demon's Souls is going to be, it's going to divert so much from the premise of all the other games that came after it. You know, this song is all about bleak, dark situation. Obviously, if this is a boss battle track, which is probably 99.9% sure that it is, it certainly has that not only dark, brooding, you know, thing going on in the track, which obviously, you know, probably all the Dark Souls bosses have, but also has that menace of the fight, because the song is very has a lot of accents in it, and so many instruments involved in enhancing the accents in the track actually gives the song more of a menacing punch. You know what I mean? And that's sort of. That is a good thing to be translated to have that, or that is a good thing to be translated in the music from the game, because remember, for video games you need to have a song that serves the story of the game. It's not a song that is going to serve the song. You know what I mean? It has to serve the character that is the theme for, you know, Flamelurker. It has to say, it has to serve, apologies, the story of Flamelurker, nothing else and nothing more. So I will say that my favorite parts of the song were certainly the accents. So many accents in the song are very, very cool. And also the intro. So I will say that one of my favorite things of the track were, you know, the arrangements and the composition of the accents in the song, and also how it starts, you know, with the organ from the beginning. I would have liked the organ to be more involved in the track, because I love the organ. But at the same time, if the organ, sometimes you can't compose a song just because you like an instrument. You know, you need to compose the track based on what it really needs, and not be carried away but by what you think you will like the most. You know, remember, it's about giving music to something that is not yourself. You know, in this case, it's a character from a video game, so it has to serve that. So in that case, I'm gonna give this track a golden badge, right? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share it with your friend. Also, please don't forget to visit my Patreon, my Ko-fi profile, and my Ko-fi store in case you want to support my work further, and my Teespring merch shop. And of course, ex nihilo nihil fit.